Men believe the biggest lie. They believe women love them for who they are. This lie has destroyed more lives than war. This lie has left men broken, weak, and used. You think she cares for your soul. You think she sees your kindness, your soft heart, your pain. You think she values your truth, but she does not. Diogenes knew this truth. He lived in a barrel. He had nothing. He feared nothing. He laughed at men who begged for love. He called men blind. He mocked their tears. He said, women do not value men. They value use, not love, not soul, not essence. Use. Take away your strength. Take away your money. Take away your power and watch her walk. Watch her affection vanish like smoke. That is her law. It is not evil. It is nature. It is survival. She does not respect the man who bends. She uses him. And who is to blame? Not her. It is you. You gave yourself up. You offered yourself as a tool. You let yourself be bent. And when you bend, you break. Diogenes saw this long ago. He saw men fall into traps. He saw men sacrifice for women. He saw them beg for love. And he spat on them. He once said, why not whip the teacher when the student fails? He meant this: stop blaming women, blame yourself. Blame your blindness, blame your need. You allowed yourself to be used, so you were used. You allowed yourself to be drained, so you were drained. This is the law of power. Diogenes proved it. When Alexander the Great stood before him and asked, what do you want? He said, stand out of my sunlight. That answer destroyed kings. Alexander ruled the earth. But in that moment he was small because Diogenes could not be used. He wanted nothing. He needed nothing. He could not be bent. And Alexander said, if I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes. Think about that. The king envied a beggar. Why? Because the beggar was free. Now look at you. You beg women for love. You beg for attention. You beg for approval. You are not free. You are chained. You think your giving makes her love you. It does not. The more you give, the less she values you. The more you bend, the more she uses you. She does not test you to admire you. She tests you to break you. She pushes to see if you bend. And when you do, she loses respect. Respect is not born from kindness. Respect is born from resistance. A man who cannot walk away is no man. A man who cannot say no is not respected. He is a tool, and every tool is thrown away when it grows dull. Diogenes would laugh at your heartbreak. He would spit on your devotion. He would bark like a dog at your tears. Because you still believe the lie. You still believe women love you for you. They do not. They love what you give. They love what you provide. They love what they can use. And when you stop being useful, they stop loving. Simple, brutal, real. So stop dreaming of pure love. Stop begging for devotion. Stop selling yourself for approval because you will always lose. The truth is sharp. It cuts deep. But only the cut sets you free. Diogenes knew this. He chose needlessness. He chose freedom. And freedom made him untouchable. Every woman tests you. Every woman pushes. Every woman looks to see if you bend. This is not a choice. It is nature. It is instinct. It is her way of knowing who is strong and who is weak. When you bow, she sees weakness. When you beg, she feels power. When you sacrifice too much, she loses respect. She wants a man who cannot be bent. She wants a man who can walk away. She wants a man who does not fear her leaving. But you fear it. You shake when she grows cold. You panic when she pulls back. You run after her when she turns away. And in that chase you die. Your respect dies. Your strength dies. Your manhood dies. Diogenes understood this. That is why he laughed at men who loved too much. He laughed at men who begged. He laughed at men who traded their dignity for a woman's smile. He carried a lamp in daylight. He said, I am looking for an honest man, but he never found one. Why? Because most men are slaves. Slaves to women. Slaves to approval. Slaves to need. He would see you today and spit. He would say, you are not a man. You are property. Property to be used. Property to be drained. And you prove him right every day. You text her too much. You give without limits. You wait by your phone like a servant. You cannot stand alone. She senses this. She feels your weakness, and once she feels it, she cannot unsee it. Respect vanishes. She does not want your soul. She wants your strength. She wants your power. She wants your backbone. When you lose that, you lose her. That is the law. Not romance, not dreams, not fantasy. Law. She respects the man who can leave. She respects the man who says no. She respects the man who stands firm, even if it costs her love. But you do not do that. You cling. You kneel. You obey. And then you cry when she leaves. You blame her. You call her cold. You call her cruel. But the truth is this. You killed her respect. You killed her desire. You killed yourself. Diogenes mocked such men. He mocked their chains. He mocked their slavery. He said freedom is the greatest good. And freedom begins when you need nothing. When you need no woman, no approval, no love. That is when you are free. Think about it. The man who needs nothing cannot be used. The man who fears nothing cannot be bent. The man who begs for nothing cannot be owned. And that is why kings envied Diogenes. He lived with nothing, yet he had more power than rulers because rulers still feared. They feared losing power. They feared losing control. They feared losing women, but Diogenes feared nothing. That is true strength. And you fear everything. You fear her silence. You fear her coldness. You fear her leaving. That fear makes you soft. That fear makes you weak. That fear makes you her toy. So she plays with you, she uses you, she drains you, and then she leaves. Do not blame her. Blame yourself. Blame your weakness. Blame your fear. Because until you learn to stand, until you learn to walk away, until you learn to need nothing, you will always be used. That is her truth. That is your curse. And Diogenes saw it centuries ago. Ask yourself this: why does she keep you near? Why does she stay? It is not love. It is not loyalty. It is use. She sees what you give. She sees what you bring. She sees what she gains. When you give money, she values the money. When you give time, she values the time. When you give attention, she values the attention. But hear this: she does not value you. She values the use of you. She values what she gets. This is why you feel empty. This is why you feel drained, because she takes and takes and takes, and you give and give and give, until there is nothing left. Diogenes would watch this and laugh. He would call you a donkey, a beast of burden, a man who carries weight that is not his own. He would say, you are not her love. You are her tool, and you know it is true. Think of the times she praised you. Think of the times she smiled at you. Was it not always after you gave her something? Was it not always when you bent to her need? And when you stopped giving, what happened? The smile vanished. The warmth froze. The words turned sharp because she never loved you. She loved the use of you. This is the law of her nature. Not good, not bad, only real. She values what benefits her. She values what lifts her. She values what fills her. And if you stop being useful, you stop being valued. You know this already. You felt it. You lived it. You watched it happen. So why deny it? Why lie to yourself? Why pretend she is different? Every woman is the same. Every woman values use. Every woman measures a man by what he brings. Diogenes exposed this long ago. He saw women pull men like puppets. He saw men destroy themselves for a touch, a smile, a word, and he spat at it. He spat at the lie. He spat at the chains. He spat at the fake love men worship. He showed that true freedom is this: to not be used, to not be needed, to not be chained. That is why he chose poverty. That is why he slept in a barrel. That is why he begged from statues. He trained himself to need nothing, so no woman could ever use him, so no ruler could ever own him, so no chain could ever bind him. Now look at you. You have food, you have money, you have comfort, but you are still a slave because she owns you. Her smile owns you, her silence owns you, her body owns you. You think you are free, but you are not. You think you are strong, but you are not. You think you are a man, but you are not. Because a man who lives for use is not a man, he is a tool, and tools get used until they break. That is what happens to you. You get used, you get broken, and then you get replaced. This is the truth Diogenes forced into the open. This is the truth men still refuse to face. But you must face it. You must look at her eyes and see the truth. She values use, not love. She values gain, not you. And if you want freedom, you must stop being used. You must stop being her tool. You must stop living for her approval. Only then will you stand as a man. Only then will you taste freedom. Only then will you understand Diogenes. Listen now. There is only one way out. There is only one path to freedom, and it is the hardest path of all. You must stop needing her. You must stop chasing her. You must stop giving her the power to use you. This is not about hate. This is not about war. This is about truth. She will always test you. She will always seek to use you. She will always measure you by what you give. That will never change. That is her nature. That is the law. But you can change yourself. You can stop being weak. You can stop being a tool. You can stop being her servant. Diogenes showed how he stripped away every chain. He stripped away every need. He stripped away every false desire. He lived free. He lived strong. He lived untouchable. No woman could own him. No ruler could control him. No society could bend him because he needed nothing. And the man who needs nothing cannot be used. That is the lesson. That is the path. That is the truth. You say you want respect. You say you want power. You say you want freedom. Then stop kneeling. Stop begging. Stop chasing. A woman does not respect the man who serves. She respects the man who leads. She respects the man who does not bow. She respects the man who can walk away. If you cannot walk away, you are not free. If you cannot say no, you are not free. If you cannot stand alone, you are not free. You are a slave, and you will remain a slave until you cut the chains. Cut the chain of need. Cut the chain of fear. Cut the chain of use. And when you do, something changes. The same woman who once drained you will see you differently. She will see strength. She will see a man she cannot bend. She will see freedom. And that is the only man she truly respects. The man who does not need her. The man who can walk away. The man who cannot be used. This is why Diogenes still matters. Not because he was strange, not because he lived in dirt, but because he was free. He lived as all men should live, untouchable, unmoved, unwound. That is why rulers feared him. That is why men envied him. That is why his name never dies. He exposed the truth. He exposed women's nature. He exposed men's weakness. And now you must face it. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, ask yourself this: are you free or are you owned? Do you stand tall or do you bow low? Do you need nothing, or do you beg for everything? The answer tells you if you are a man, or if you are just another tool waiting to be used. Wake up, rise up, stand tall, be the man who cannot be bent, be the man who cannot be used, be the man who needs nothing. That is the only way, that is the only path, that is the only truth. Be free. Make the bold step and subscribe to join the brotherhood.